I first of all, Pastor Brian, I want to thank you. You and I were reminiscing. Thank you, thank you. Goodness. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I'm so touched. Well, it is my great joy to celebrate my birthday with all of you here. And thank you for those warm and beautiful wishes. Pastor Brian, I thank you.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people. No.
All right. Welcome once again to the beatzillapdx official show. I am your host, beatzillapdx officially, and this is the midweek report news break edition, which means this is a tape delayed, pre-taped broadcast. So with that being said, family, if you could, as you're coming into this broadcast, please hit that like button. Hit that share button if you are in the YouTube right now. And if you are watching on X, get over to YouTube, hit the channel. Come on over here and subscribe to YouTube. That's beatzillapdx official on YouTube. Come subscribe to this channel. Hit that notification bell. Or I'm sorry, after you subscribe, you'll hit the notification bell. Hit the word all. That way you'll be notified anytime this channel goes live or a video is uploaded. And then also, if you would like to further support this broadcast channel and what we do here, you can become a member by hitting the join button. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have a question. Has the church sold out? The church that we grew up with and know, for those of us who grew up in the Black church here in America, and this Black experience, the thing that has the ties that have binded so many of us together for so many generations, has that institution became more of a hindrance? And then the other question would be, and what God do they serve in 2024? And the reason I ask that question is because of the things that we have seen over the weekend. We've seen a Democratic blitz on Black churches, specifically Black churches. And, you know, with Obama's berating of Black men, and, you know, that obviously has been the go-to strategy in times before, and they are trying to continue the strategy of belittling Black men once more, shaming Black men into supporting this imitation Black woman who at best would be tied to immigrants. So there is no tie to our culture whatsoever, but they have been going out of their way to talk to Black men as if she is like our mothers and as if she's like our aunts, and which she is not. She's not a foundational Black American whatsoever. So how could she be like my grandmother or my aunts? That doesn't make any sense. So to keep talking to me in that manner is very disrespectful to the women actually of my family and lineage that come from this. My grandmother just passed in beginning of this year. We buried my grandma, 100 years old. So my grandma passed at 100. We're talking, how old was her grandmother? So understand the things that's you're talking about somebody who was on a plantation. So we are very clear who our family lineage is and who we're tied to. We're only a few generations away from the plantation. Why now would we start confusing people and saying, this woman is just like my grandma? No, she ain't. Nothing near. Matter of fact, and truth be told, my grandmother, especially my mother's mother, would never have let Kamala Harris in our house. Never. And especially her husband would have never been allowed to set foot over the threshold, because my grandmother did not let white people in the house. Period. That was just my grandmother's thing. She did not let especially white men, never could come in our house. That was a thing. And you know, some people was like, oh man, that's racist and this and that. You know, my grandmother was very old school, superstitious. And you know, one of them things that some people tell folks today, and then you know, in their lore, like for instance, vampires. Never invite them in your house. And so, you know, maybe she was moving along that philosophy. But also with the same thing, look at when we say be careful of who you invite into your house. And in this situation, the church house is the house of the Lord. Should you not be vigilant on who you have come speak at your pulpit? So on a day, Sunday, which is pink day, but see, understand pink aligned with green is AKA colors. So can't make no mistake about, you have Kamala Harris at Jamal Bryant's church on Sunday, and at the same time, you have Roland Martin speaking at another church, having a sermon written to cater toward Kamala Harris. Here locally, at the church I used to play to, they had an entire politician sitting in the pulpit teaching people how to vote, and just a cat hair away from telling people who to vote for. So I saw this blitz going on Sunday, and it's like, man, this is crazy. And nobody seemed to ask these questions and say, what's going on? Why now is the church aligning themselves with Kamala Harris so tough, and you don't have any moral dilemma, no philosophical dilemma? And then I had to look, and when you start going and looking at folks, of course, we already understand how backwards Jamal Bryant has already proven himself to be. Even further, and you start seeing, oh yeah, this cat is completely sold out. And I say completely sold out for a reason. So here's my other thing. Kamala was playing church. They gave her ready-made sermons. She had a teleprompter, which is not unheard of for a preacher. But if you have a ready-made sermon, say you get the sermon sent to you and say, because think about this. All of these Boule DNC outpost individuals, they all deal with one another. So they knew how they were going to approach this Sunday. This is why. Now do you understand why also they were looking for another debate with Donald Trump? One of the reasons being is because they could draw up excitement right at the beginning of early voting. So try to bait him into something. And for his party and his camp was smart and wise and said no. Then they tried to bait him out. Now you're seeing why they needed to bait him out, because he was really trying to push they're trying to push a debate because they needed fuel going into early voting, which has already began. Now, here I'll say in my city and state of Portland, Oregon, every year you see multiple signs. Every election year, doesn't matter. Yard signs, yard signs, yard signs, yard signs, yard signs, yard signs. The other day, while me and my wife were out, doing our weekend running around, whatnot, she happened to notice that there's still not many signs out. And for, what we had to do while being out driving around and about the city, we only saw about 3 signs. And legitimately, she saw them, I didn't. So 3 yard signs. And this is a blue city, family. Every other election year, you will clearly know that it is an election year just by driving down the street. However, this year, oh man, it is night and day. Night and day, ladies and gentlemen. But like I was saying, they need help. And the Black church in part. However, the Black church has also had a hand in quite a bit. One other thing that the Black church has had a humongous hand in is eugenics, the Negro Project. They were the conduit to get Black folks on board to start deleting their children. Let's get these Black folks on board. And you're talking about Margaret Sanger. Fast forward to Bill Gates. Her nephew, his father, was the long-standing chair of Planned Parenthood. For those who didn't know, the video game maker, his daddy, long-standing on the board, member of the board, chairman of the board at periods of time of Planned Parenthood. He, along with Margaret Sanger, that's how you got this push and all of this money. How did you think they got targeted to where they got targeted? That's Margaret Sanger and Bill Gates Sr. And you want to trust his son with funding certain things? If you ask me, you must be a lunatic. Because there's no way I could trust somebody who I know was actively funding, aiding, researching, and most definitely making it their life's work to make sure Black numbers and Black babies get killed off. Wonder how much money they've invested in the prisons and jails. Anybody want to try and take a look? There's been mentions before, and I think we were able to locate the truth. But it's been said that even Michael Jordan has invested into the jails. Not prisons, but jails. So prisons, you'd be looking at them like, yeah, okay, but nobody pays attention to who's invested into the jails. However, in some research, we found out that Michael Jordan was actually a white businessman versus the basketball playing Michael Jordan. So anybody go out there, oh man, Michael Jordan. No. And we did research that. Now it has been said that, I can't say that he's completely off the hook. But I'm just telling you, as for the situation in this city, which of course, it would make sense that Jordan would have investments here. As far as I know, he still got that big mansion over there in Vancouver. Because, see, here's one thing people forget about Portland, Oregon. Portland, Oregon is where his office is. Jordan Brand is right here. Has been. All these players, they all make their way through here. Go out there to that big old facility they got out there. For those who don't know, Nike and Adidas are right here in Portland, Oregon. You go over there to Adidas, they got the building that I was born in. It used to be a hospital. Go over there, you'll see a big old Adidas, the Run DMC Adidas, right in the front. A big old giant statue of an Adidas. So that's what you see here. But the things you can see in this town, this is a blue city. And one thing is for certain, they have not let go of the thoughts of abortion. Abortion is literally the leading issue. Now, it being from here, I'm not really shocked because this is Portland, Oregon. But understand it, man. This Northwest connection with Planned Parenthood is deep. Mainly because you got some founders from up here. And where am I from? I'm from the place that they would like to call Valhalla, the white heaven. You can find some businesses that might have that name here, because that's what this is. And that's why I call it the University of White Supremacy. You understand? It's real. That's Enrique. If you guys ever saw Enrique Tarrio's jackets and the Proud Boy jackets, that dude lived in Florida. The back of his jacket say Columbia River. That's our neighboring river that runs in between Portland and Vancouver, Washington. And so representing, the Portland metropolitan area, that's Enrique Tarrio, while the dude is living in Florida. So when we found that out, we're like, well, wait a minute. I see this dude like every other week. Who's paying for this? So there's a lot of money going into that thing too. So don't let people, Trump inspired these, miss me. There's a societal issue going on here. And ain't nobody dealing with it. But here's another societal issue. Planned Parenthood. And so, again, I go back to what I said. The house of the Lord is supposed to be, shouldn't you be more careful of who you introducing? And so all those people I just mentioned are now wrapped up in one person to whom they have out there pushing this nonsense. And that's the vice president. And now these churches are now full-fledged pushing self-genocide on Black folks, just like they have in years past with Jim Jones. Here's this guy, Pastor Jamal Bryant. You think that he would have a word from the Lord. Let's hear what word he actually has.
But I stand with now the living matriarch of the movement, Maxine Waters, who said they have declared war on 32 million women in this nation. And one thing about a woman, when she is focused, she is not going to stop until she gets what she needs. We stand, but we realize that this is not just a woman's issue. Unless I don't understand how pregnancy works, men have to extend their voices as well. And so we speak to this.
No, we don't. Because men don't have a say in a woman's decision. Men just have to pay for a woman's decision. Men don't have to have no say. Let me go ahead and continue on.
This nation to declare that New Birth stands with the amazing women of this church, of this community, and of this country. That
what
women.
Okay, the women in your church are in dire need of abortions, brother. What are you preaching? Why would the women of your congregation need abortions in such large numbers? The hell are you talking about there, Pastor? I stand with the women of this church. The women of your church, all these women over here in the choir stand are harlots then. Your pro-praise team is hookers. What are we talking about here? There's no virtue on stage? Oh, but no. You want to be up here. This is church now. If you ain't going to be responsible to your Lord and Savior for representing some kind of way, what kind of witness are you supposed to be to me? The hell is this man talking about? Let's hear some more of this. I mean, let a black preacher talk in 2024, and I guarantee you within 60 seconds you will hear Satan. Tell me I'm lying.
Men have the right to have authority over their body, and it should not be legislated by men in Washington, D.C. Because what we are seeing is racism rearing its head again.
Racism is rearing its head once again, and somehow racism has something to do with you deleting your baby. What is this nut talking about? What the hell is this nut talking about?
With this measure that has just taken place, black baby infant mortality is going to rise by 30%. And hence.
And now he's going to turn around and lie to you. Now, how did he go from abortion to if this law doesn't get passed, if this law gets passed, and it's going to increase the mortality rate? People of New Birth, what God do you serve? Because I'm hearing the priest of Moloch. This is Moloch preaching here. Y'all can sit up here and lie to y'allself that that's Jesus. No, they ain't. No, sir. No, what he telling you is spilled innocent blood. And if you don't, more women will die. I can't believe I'm hearing a preacher saying this, but this is your man.
So we cover the lives of our mothers, of our pregnant mothers, and our unborn babies. You to do me a favor, please.
How contradictory. So I'm okay. First off, I'm gonna promote abortion, and then I'm gonna say the mortality rate is gonna go up, and then I'm gonna say I want to cover our mothers and our unborn babies. He took you through the gambit of confusion. Boy, he took you from point A to point B, going nowhere all the time. Y'all better get out these doggone churches listening to these liars. This again, what the Bible say about the father of lies, false prophet.
While last Sunday was Father's Day, today we stand in the gap for mothers and for emerging.
Mother's Day was back in May, brother. So you had Father's Day the previous Sunday. And you say, but this Sunday we are celebrating mothers. So it's 2 Mother's Days now. See how he's working this? And now you're talking about mothers, but here's the point. You're pushing prevention of motherhood, brother.
Mothers, I need you to do me a favor, please, because I need you to be mindful. Weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but they are mighty unto God for the pulling down in Washington, D.C.
And on this mic in that pulpit talking to you right now. It is of the exact same energy of that demonic energy that is going on in DC right now. Because you know who's in DC right now? That in power is Kamala Harris and Joe Biden's regime, and they want you to give her more. What they are trying to tell you and what he's trying to do is trick you into believing that somehow Trump is in Washington and the demonic energy going on in Washington has something to do with Trump. But no. The Democrats are in office. So if there's something demonic going on in Washington, then it is legitimately for the party to whom you are caping for right now. And the fact that y'all sitting in here like, man, this man really giving us that word. He is giving you the words of deception. Because that was an outright lie. Okay, so that
I stand.
Okay, so yeah, I stand with her. Shut up. Oh, these people, and this, and then they talk about this is the voice of that man. Let's get to this thing here. Kamala goes to church, and these folks lose their daggum minds, man. And this is just. It's awful, but we gonna get through this real quick because I just want to touch on a little bit of this. No, you're gonna give me an error while playing. All right, let's do that again. Okay, let's try this one more time. Okay, that was weird. Add that to the stage, please. All right, let's go ahead and get this playing, and please forgive the music. Wow, that man was big. What's off with this picture? Can somebody tell me right now what you see that is extremely off with this picture, but very, very, very fitting? Who is this random white woman? You got all of these black women and they pink, all of these church women, this woman in her big old church hat. You see a few of the church hats. And you see all of that pink. There's a bunch of AKA stuff going on in there. And then there's this random white woman here. Who's the random white? Is she over here looking like a lighter hair colored Cher from the movie Mask? For those of y'all who are old enough to see that. But yeah, that's a little interesting. Like, who is this woman? And that's another thing when you see people like that, because you'll see that in entertainment a lot. But yeah, who's this random white woman that's sitting up here in the front row, and they're escorting her to where? Right where she at? Okay.
Come on, everybody sing encore. We give your name praise, all praise, glory, all praise, glory, and honor.
Does anybody find the song that they're singing slightly coincidental? A person who's coming out to all praise, glory, and honor. Now they singing about the Lord, but what are the optics? Our glory. Who's getting all the praise and all the glory and honor right now? See, they're supposed to be singing to the Most High now, right? It's supposed to be about Jesus. It's who's getting the praise, the glory, and the honor, and all of the attention in the room right now. They forgot all about the Lord. And they giving Kamala Harris all the praise, all the glory, and all the honor. Because I guess they blessed and highly favored in the spirit of Kamala Harris.
All praise, glory, and honor. All praise, glory. We give it to you.
One thing the black church still got to this day, well, they rocking. They rocking. And whoever the drummer is, I hear you, brother.
Praise, glory, and honor. All praise belongs to you, Jesus. All praise, yeah.
You see who is right next to her with her, don't you? See, so for those of y'all who are not really paying attention, this is why I'm on Jasmine Crockett's top. AOC, she irrelevant. They need to push that immigrant line a little more. So, you know who's next up? They ain't shoving a sassy self down in your face for nothing. And if you can see right now, oh, she's over there. And for those who don't know, Jasmine Crockett is actually over one of them teams for Kamala Harris. So I don't know if a lot of people know that, but yeah, she's heavy attached to this campaign. Like she runs stuff for Kamala Harris. So it's not like you're just seeing her like, oh, she's hanging on. No. There's a reason why you keep seeing Jasmine Crockett. You understand? Same reason why you're seeing AOC. They done got all the rest of them squad members out the paint. But one is still there. Actually, two. Ilhan Omar and AOC. And AOC had to throw Ilhan Omar under the bus and go ahead and support Israel. So, you know, she didn't have that trouble. Because what's that other list? Emily's list? A lot of these candidates are Emily's list candidates as well, for those of you who don't know. So Emily's list only endorses candidates who are pro-abortion. So if you see somebody that's attached to that and getting all that good money, because they're getting funded by eugenicists. And like I said, the queen eugenicist right now, the voice of eugenics is Kamala Harris. I don't know how people don't see this. She Margaret Sanger with a dang tan. And folks out here, oh yes, let's get her in here. This is my problem with black folks. You dress it up as a Democrat, and you will start worshiping Satan and say, man, well, you know, it's better than something else. Y'all went from choosing the lesser of two evils to saying, oh, screw it. We just gonna choose straight up evil. And we gonna call it good. This is the most reprobate state I've ever witnessed. And I grew up, a lot of us grew up in the church. What is this? There's Jasmine Crockett. She got her a fresh do. Hey, you see Jasmine up there with a fresh do. She got the blonde highlights cracking and everything. Got the side piece chop. I'm assuming that, and here's the thing, man. Having family members and folks that I grew up with being so closely tied to AKs is insane. And like I always tell the story of the one particular individual that was always hopping out there lying, telling me, I'm not part of no security. If you only could take a look at her Instagram page right now. Oh, so y'all, you over here hanging with Kamala and Doug. But I ain't part of no sorority. Let these folks come around you lying, man. Like I said, for some of us, especially if you're from Black and from here, I don't know. This place has some weird type of connection with DC. I don't know. I don't get it. Well, I do. It's the Jack and Jill connection. What am I saying? I understand fully what it is. It's the Boulay connection, because out here, and this is like the Boulay satellite hub, and it's barely any Black folks here, but damn near everybody is Boulay. And that's just the truth. We're going to keep it a buck. And, a lot of those folks, the older folks, dying off, though. So things are making a shift and change. Now, down there, you still got, you have the field of replenishment. And so, they don't know no better. So you can just keep, replenishing them. Over here, out here on this West Coast, man, most people done stepped out to church. Because we understand what the foolishness is. And also that the Black churches had a very funny style relationship with Black men. So it actually has alienated Black men. Maybe it's because of all of these skirt chasing pastors like Jamal Bryant getting church members pregnant that he didn't actually want to be with and ruin his household. I don't know. But, there's things that happen, and he's admitted to that. So, he's divorced now because of his infidelity and he fathering a child outside of his marriage. And so I can see why he might want to be like, well, abortion ain't really all that bad. He was like, well, I wouldn't be in this predicament if it was. But, praise the Lord, right? It's on the 2 and 4, Jasmine. Here's a tip when you can find a Black person that actually does not have rhythm. I'm a soul clap. She can't get that. She up there. Okay, Jasmine. Okay, Miss Texas. Who's you hanging around down there? See, because people be pulling that Texas card out too. It's like, there's a lot of Mexicans down there now. Now, who's you really hanging around? Now, I can't help but notice, have y'all paid attention to Jasmine Crockett? Is it me, or has she been getting a little thick here? It's funny, because I seem to mention something about her having no hips. And now, all of a sudden, she's starting to flare out. Are y'all paying attention? You don't trust no narrow-hip Black woman. And all of a sudden, oh, look at her. Something's happening. Boy, these people, you think they don't pay attention to what the grassroots is talking about, you out your mind. They very much paying attention.
Everybody dancing, everybody shouting, everybody singing, shouting.
And they doing all of this. And I mean, you know, they jamming. I'll give it to them. Now, let me get to some more here. I just, that, oh, glory. They coming in right there at the right time. Boy, the timing is perfect to where the song is sitting. I ain't even gonna play you none of this because this is on his channel. But oh, this guy. So he preached about Deborah, which, you know, Deborah's an Old Testament story. You know, I believe that's somewhere around Kings and Judges. But you know, he you know, brought that story out and then segued into how it fits into Kamala. And then Jamal Bryant is doing the Esther, and this is Kamala Harris and Esther? No, sir, she is not. Because the one thing about Esther is Esther would have been in exile. So, like Black people, we know what being in exile is. For some of us, especially, you know, those that know they hailing from the Moors, these Maroons, you know, some of us have long been in exile. You were in exile before you came over here to this continent. So hiding amongst other melanin is not new. It's kind of what we're experiencing right now is reverse of what we have done in centuries past because we had to hide. You understand what I'm saying? You have to hide. And back then they had to hide who they were too. So they were hiding who they were, hiding their true identity. Hey, I'm an African. Oh, okay, well, you know, you dark enough. Oh, okay, we'll go with it. But at the end of the day, she's like, I'm an Israelite. But as for now, I'm gonna go as these people over here. And that's what they can see me as. I'll just be this dark-skinned, melanated person over here. Not really saying what I am in the difference. So again, like if you go to the Bible, you'll see where folks had to tether because they were in exile. And so they were hiding amongst other people who looked like them. It's a funny thing about this white Jesus. White Jesus actually was able to blend in with dark-ass Egyptians. But man, boy, I'll tell you, boy, it must have been something in the sun and the color, and they was, man, you know, he looked just like us. We dark and whatnot, and he got that light skin, but whoo, boy, we must be the same because, you know, white folks definitely come from Egypt. Never take your cues or pieces of history from a bona fide liar. Now, let me see. Where do I want to go next? Let me play this piece because this cat came on CNN, and this is my issue with these nuts. Man.
You said something is wrong with brothers who.
So this cat is continuing. This is why you haven't heard Obama apologize to Black men. This is a plan, and obviously they have not abandoned it. Nina Turner, I guess, probably gave some cause to think of how you approach us. But looking at this right here, and church Negroes, I got to say this. Men, so-called men of the church, you modern day Negroes are see-through. We are all around the same age. Who you think you conning? And this is why y'all churches are lacking. You're in Atlanta, so you could fill that church up with a bunch of women. because that's all you see in there. You're a mega church full of women. We got to protect our sisters. And your ass is the womanizer, adulterer, pastor. You up in the pulpit. Not other men. You are. Just as foul as you want to be. Talking about a man that did not take other people's spiritual growth and guidance in their own hands while having bad intentions. But people tell themselves all the different types of things they want to. But here's one thing that you could never get around. When your oaths do not coincide with your faith, and you have to now start pushing your oaths agenda onto your congregation, you, sir, have completely sold your soul. And you are now responsible for the others that you are misleading. Because you are trying to get these people convinced, number one, black men. See, here's the thing. Orange man bad, y'all recognizing this is the last 4 years, you're going to have the orange man bad talk. What are they putting in the stash? Black man bad. And so let's get this wussified preacher over here to come start talking slick against black men. So maybe I can get some more women and keep them in my church. The church now has just became Derek Jackson on steroids. I'm a pander. And regardless if it's right or not, I'm going to pander some more. This is Peter Popoff 2.0. And what's funny about Jamal Bryant is I know who his father is. Dr. John Bryant. He was presiding bishop out here for a while before John really started getting, or Jamal started getting popping. So I've seen this cat's rise. Nigga, you ain't shit.
Who don't know how to support a sister.
Yeah. And Mordecai was man enough to know that in order for me to be a man, I got to know how to support a woman. Something is wrong with brothers who don't know how to support a sister. It was a sister that raised you. It was a sister that taught you how to read. It was a sister that taught you how to bathe yourself.
In the context.
And Kamala Harris is not like any of those women there, brother. She doesn't even have a baby of her own to bathe. She has never mothered and woke up in the middle of the night to feed a baby. She's never been around small children. There's nothing about child rearing that this woman knows. And I hear you nuts running around here talking about mamala. How the hell is a woman who's barren gonna be mamala? How that makes sense? Sarah was in her 90s and she had Isaac. She got prophesied as an old woman. It was a joke as she took it. Can't be true, tell the truth. He got the guy that's mine. These are false prophets, folks. And they're telling you, let's double down on it. Black men, there's something wrong with a brother that can't support a sister. Your mother's bathed you. Your mother's taught you how to read. Really? Really, bro? It was your mother's and your... Stop, dude. Here you go, back. This is foolishness. And AKA. These people's faith
who don't
is all
I
over the
gotta know how to
place.
support for me to be a man. To know that in order for me to be a man, I gotta know how to support a woman. To know that in order for me to be a man, I gotta know how to support a woman.
Whew. Now, this is really sounding like feminist talking points. This reminds me of what I used to hear or see years ago in my feed. Like, man, a real man is this. A real man is that. And it's always from single women. Ain't mothers, ain't the first. A real man. A real man bow down and kiss my ass. A real man sit here and simp for me. A real man don't have no backbone. As a real man, just let me do what I want. Then they found out a real man says, no, the hell you don't. You want to do that? You're going to be by yourself. Well, I can do that. Then you got church filled with lonely hearts listening to some suited up coon selling you lies. And because he can dress it up and he can get on the pulpit and he can tell you, ladies, you deserve everything you want. And a man isn't man enough if he's not willing to do everything that you have in your mind that you want him to do. He should respect you enough to cast his future aside for the thoughts of your right now. And don't you ever let that man tell you you have to keep that baby. No, you don't. And that man doesn't have the right to tell you what to do with the life that he helped you create. Because that's your body. And if you want to have this living being in your belly dismembered and discarded, well, then that is your choice, and the good Lord actually blesses it. Y'all better stop listening to these soothsayers. The church is done, man. Straight up. The church is finito.
Something is wrong with brothers who don't know how to support a sister. It was a sister that raised you. It was a sister that taught you how to.
It was a sister that I'm married to. It's a sister that gave me 2 children. It's a sister that I'm still married to. It's a sister that I've been with almost 30 years. It's a sister. Shut up. How many black husbands are there of our generation? There are plenty. You're a screw up doofus, not the rest of black society. Stop it. And all of this, I can't stand with dudes that you own your own mistakes, bro. Stop putting that foolishness on someone else. You're a womanizer. You are a misogynist. The rest of us is family men, husbands and fathers. You were the one who took your position to the extreme and crossed the line. I don't know why you sitting up here in your pulpit thinking you finna browbeat brothers while you sitting up here in the pulpit of a church in Atlanta. You know good and well the folks that you preaching to or have up in your pulpit ain't living right. And some of them, you probably know how they doing, what they doing on Saturday nights. But see, the Lord has his own time. And, you know, you a good musician, you a good singer, you know, and so the Lord, we have to deal with grace. Because we need you in that. I need you in that service to make sure we get that money. So, we gonna just pray for you, and just trying to keep quiet and just show up every Sunday and play and start seeing all that compromise and these folks you thought they were spiritual. No, they not. No, they not. They businessmen. They hustlers. This is a con. Hearing these big, man, I'm telling you, and I'm sure there's probably a lot of people that be like, man, why you going at us so hard? Because this right here that y'all just pulled this last Sunday, anybody to see this, you can feel free to hit me up. Please do. I encourage it. If you are a preacher who I know, and you hearing what I'm saying right now, I absolutely my line is open. Because I have no problem discussing this position. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. See, some of us really want to do right by the people, and it matters. I'm never going to sit up here and jump into something like this without a clear conscience or a clear heart. And here you are, Jamal Bryant, selling the Democratic talking points. And not only that, though, you are actually helping voter suppression. Because a vote for Kamala is a vote against democracy. Since it wasn't democracy that got her there, it was literally placement. Since when is placement democracy? And then you put her up in here. So these optics were trying to give folks that see Kamala is covered. America, black folks ain't rock. Don't fall for this madness. She is not covered by Black America. Ain't nobody coming to the rescue. That is an imhoff you're looking at. Imhoffs need to be coming to the rescue. Can't stand this. They was doing that with Ketanji. Oh, y'all can't stand the sister. Miss me with all the sister BS. Is the white husbands over here saying sister, sister, sister? Like, I can't stand this. And the brothers, and she didn't go pick a brother. And she has a real man in Doug Emhoff, who actually also cheated on his wife and got another woman pregnant. And oh, lo and behold, look at Kamala. Boy, she lucks out because she married just the right man. A man who says, I will make my side piece go get rid of it.
Read, it was a sister that taught you how to bathe yourself.
In the context of the vice president, were you trying to send a message?
That we've got to be able to vote, that misogyny is still real in our community.
Misogyny is still real in our community. Where is the misogyny in our community when it applies to Kamala Harris, though? Because did misogyny prevent us from voting for Hillary Clinton? Oh, that's right, man. Black men did actually vote for Hillary Clinton. So where is this misogyny conversation coming in at? Democrats have an issue. It's not a Kamala Harris issue. Democrats have a problem. Democrats are sending money over to Ukraine hand over fist. Zelensky comes over here, and then we have Democrats literally going out of their way to sabotage reparations bills, and you're talking about misogyny? Jamal Bryant.
Buck dancing, shuffling, scratching, bootlicking, bamboozling, Uncle Tom Negro.
That's all you are to me, Negro. But see, we have to deal with our community. They always send one of these buck-broken busters out to come out here and start talking against other black folks, because this is an indictment on black men. So here we go again. Black men are misogynists. The misandry in the Democrats is off the charts. You will not hate me and get my vote. I am not here to be hated. And if you do, don't expect me to fool with you. And right now, Democrats, do you hear your man? What he's saying is the Democratic line is screw black men. Now come vote for us. Damn, you bastards are terrible. Come vote for us. Black men ain't shit. Come vote for us. Black men hate black women. Come vote for a black woman who y'all know ain't black. But we're going to just still keep pounding down because we need the world to know that y'all hate black women because y'all don't like this Indian woman that we keep giving you who is nothing but an anchor baby, and actually wants to give amnesty to a bunch of illegals because her whole push is immigration. Well, she knows what the black community is and she got a whole black agenda. No, she don't. She took her own agenda, put black men on it, piecemealed some pieces of her thing already, and then put it in place. It's not for black men, though, because it's black men and others. So it ain't, well, see, this is how it actually develops and it helps us. It don't, man. It don't. And this is why the grassroots is held firm. And that's why they are talking about the couch as a legitimate candidate because of this type of behavior. But let's hear some more of this clown.
Unity. We've got to address it head on and not act like it doesn't exist. The reality is if black men had voted, Stacey Abrams would be a governor.
If black men had voted, Stacey Abrams would be a governor. Stacey Abrams was a bad candidate. Stacey Abrams, again, also is a misandrist. So stop asking people who are anti-black men, hey, why ain't you supporting this black man hating woman over here? What's wrong with you? Yeah, I mean, she don't like black men, but she's black, so you should support her. Man, black men don't be supporting black women, man. Black men hate black women. I mean, man, the black woman gonna marry a white man, but she must not hate brothers. But we hate her. She goes and marries something else, but we hate her. Somebody, please explain how that works. How do you fix your mind to say a woman who's not married to a black man is now being hated because of misogyny from black men who are not hers? No, and here's the other insult to black men. We don't have any real issues. Our only issue for not voting for her is misogyny. All we are is misogyny. And this is coming from the black church. You want to know why you won't be getting any black men? Because of suckers like this, who will come out here as a black man talking shit against other black men that ain't true. You're lying on other black men. Ain't no misogyny over here. Misogyny is a societal issue, and patriarchy only exists in the white patriarchal system because black people own no systems. Y'all have been bamboozled and fooled and fed a line of trash and garbage that black folks don't own nothing. So you can't have no system like patriarchy in any of it. You have matriarchy in the black community because it was put in place by the powers that be. So that's funny that when people come and talk to black men, nobody ever acknowledges that part, though. That's why you shouldn't trust none of these folks. None of them. None of them. As far as I'm concerned, the church is in league with the devil. That's where I stand. Somebody prove me wrong if you care to. But you do not serve the Most High. He is not your God any longer. If y'all sitting up here in these churches, that ain't who you're serving. Y'all serving Molech. You have aligned yourselves with the God of Molech, man. Put them babies on the altar and let them burn. That's where you at. That's how far you have let this party take you. Your God is blue. My God created the heavens and the earth. We don't serve the same because your God says we can only do what these people in front of us say we can do. There's a book that I should be reading to give me instructions directly, but no, I'm going to then forego the book that's called the Word of God and say, I'm going to listen to this already proven faulty Negro to tell me how to live my life. Jamal Bryant, you a straight up sucker and a clown for this conversation right here. And your ass gets one of these, punk.
Sambo, Sambo, Sambo.
Listen, let me finish this dude off.
And so I think that we've got to do some real redress that after racism, the biggest ill in America is sexism. And I think it's part of the responsibility of this generation to deal with it head on.
Where have you heard that line before, ladies and gentlemen? That now he had to rephrase it because Tamika Mallory actually said it completely wrong. But next to racism, the next biggest thing we got to deal with is sexism. You know, I would love to sit down there and walk down that conversation, just like with any intersectionality individual, because, you know, I used to ask all these people because they always had so much to say, and, you know, because it was the cool, popular thing. And not to mention, you D9ers, all you D9ers out there, y'all was doing that. Man, black men, this black men are the worst, black men, y'all ain't shit. Black men are the worst. You were over here hating on your own people. Now you need black men. And you don't even know how to relate to black men. Why? Because you hate black men. I don't know where that comes. Well, this is miss me with all of that. There's nobody else on this planet that everybody else finds it okay to be disrespectful to. This is how much of a disconnect you must have with black men. Your only way to address black men is insult, disrespect, dishonor. That's how you view these people. And then wonder why your relationships have so much dysfunction. What is it that you ladies are taking into your relationships other than this? Oh, well, it ain't based on him. This is based on you. Because you know what's going on right now? None of us are in a relationship with you. But yet and still, we can see all through our timelines, all of y'all agreeing with this. None of us in relationship with you at all. And you have broad brushed all black men as misogynists because we're not voting for her. Because we're all brain dead robots that doesn't have a mind of our own. And oh, lo and behold, I know how to create and manage my own finances and know what I want my future, my children's future to look like, and things I want to be doing with my wife. Oh, no. I don't like women. I don't like black women. You have boiled black men, and we're talking adults, man, not children, down to the most minuscule mindset that of a low vibrational individual, and somehow we're supposed to look at you and say, yeah, what you talking about works for me. It don't. And at the end of the day, I hope a lot of y'all see these folks who have been in front of you feeding y'all this line of garbage. Nature Boy, gone. Polite, gone. All of these dudes were women worshipers. When at the end of the day, all they were womanizers. This nigga's no different. No, he's the same. Past all these fake preachers, they just like them. Only thing that the Polite and them dudes did, all they did was forego the church building. But what did they have? Issues with women. Derek Jackson, you over there using the church, using Christianity, supposedly over there catering to women. and totally wrecked his house. Not caring for the one woman who he's supposed to be caring for. See, that's how that actually works, ladies. That's why you're supposed to be getting up under some protection. Get you with a man. All this other stuff they selling you is not going to help you. And none of them will be there in your darkest hour. It'll be you alone. Being like, why don't I have anybody like everybody else be having somebody? I'm 40 years old and I ain't gonna have nobody. I ain't got no kids and I ain't got nothing but my dog. Because you listening to people like this. Don't nobody come ask the married man nothing. Nobody will ask my wife nothing. They don't want to know from married couples how do you do it? They don't want to know. They want the fantasy of failure versus watching real life. And that's unfortunate. But, you know, that's another sad byproduct of spending so much time in the church. Because you got away from yourselves. And you can't afford to do that. You can't afford to do that at all. You're listening to folks like this.
Care them. And I never did get the chance to meet that woman, but I will never forget that moment. And I share that story to say that we have all in our lives, from the earliest stages of our lives, had those moments where it has been revealed to us our power. And we should never let anyone take our power from us or in any way try to convince us we are powerless.
Kamala Harris, do you recognize that you are in Atlanta, Georgia, and probably speaking to about roughly 60+% of descendants of chattel slavery? These are the very people who were told all of those things and whose power was stripped. The fact that you're in this country is because those folks fought for that power. Why would we now need you to tell us about not giving up our power? If we had given up our power, your ass wouldn't be where you are right now. And you want me to say that this speech somehow I'm supposed to resonate with this? This is an outsider talking. And she's doing a whole bunch of weeing. Us, what we got to do, our power, who? Kamala, you're an Indian, Jamaican, we Black, American, descendants of chattel slavery. We freedmen, our status is not the same. Why are we sitting up here hearing you talk about us and our and we? What are you talking about? Y'all folks eat this up too, don't you? Some people.
And so I say, as we move forward, let us look at where we are and understand the lesson of the Gospel of Luke. Because right now, each of us has an opportunity to make a difference. In this moment, our country is at a crossroads. And where we go from here is up to us.
Well, the last 3 years have been you. So, yes, getting something different is most definitely up to us.
As Americans and as people of faith. And now we ask a question. We face this question. What kind of country do we want to live in? A country of chaos, fear, and hate.
We live in that right now, and it's been that since its inception. You know, it's funny too. Again, let me just also reiterate. We're talking in a church in Georgia. The next state over, there was some years back a incident done by Dylan Roof. You know, the things that y'all are eating up with this woman right here. I just don't understand. I just don't. This is, I mean, maybe too many people in these buildings, in these church buildings, got that thing, and their memories is gone and foggy and stuff. Because I do hear that a lot from people who have had it, and they complain about memory loss. I'm just saying, people's memories. What would have happened?
Or a country of freedom, compassion, and justice.
We have never seen that in this country. And that's where you're confused. See, because you didn't have to do that work, Kamala, nor did your father, nor did your mother. Neither one of them had to do that work.
And the great thing about living in a democracy is that we, the people, have the power to answer that question. So let us answer, not just through our words, but through our action and with our votes. When we come across our brothers and sisters in need, let us, as the Good Samaritan did, see in the face of a stranger a neighbor. And let us recognize that when we shine the light in moments of darkness, it will guide our feet into the path of peace. And
guess you missed. I know you mentioned Luke. Maybe you missed first book of the New Testament, Matthew. Around, I believe that's chapter 5 or chapter 25. But he's referring to, think not that I came to bring peace, but I came to bring division and a sword. Those are in red letters, by the way. I'm just saying, I guess, she didn't get that in Sunday school when she was growing up in the black church in Oakland.
let us remember that while weeping may endure for a night, joy cometh in the morning.
Can you even tell me who sang that song? Fraud. For those of you in the chat, that's it. For those of you in the chat, weeping may endure for a night, but what but joy come in the morning. Who sings that? This fraud woman up out of my face. Man, people of faith, y'all bringing this nut around, man, you guys are the damn devil. I mean, how can you bring this fraud around? And for me, like for those of us, any gospel musician co-signing this crap, you know you fake and full of crap. As much as you done seen, you know better. I'll give some of them folks in that audience a pass, but you musicians, hell no. You know exactly what you're doing because you don't sit where they sit. You don't see the stuff that they don't see, the stuff you see. Shoot, some of y'all know who these people really are. Come on, let's keep it a buck now. Us music, come on, man. You played in gospel music before. You know who some of these folks really are. Now that's again something that goes along with, that's why certain people are approached more than others, is because as much as I can say I've seen and witnessed, ain't nobody, your dirt ain't never came out of my mouth. And people do pay attention to stuff like that. When you can hold your water and they know what you've witnessed and you ain't never told nobody, and people pay attention to that. But like I said, at the same time, I will deal with people accordingly. Like, I know who you is. I don't need to throw you under the bus not to rock with you, though. Like, I'm not rocking with you, but cool. If other people do not see your BS for what it is, I'm not one of them that I gotta go out there and save everybody. No. I believe things are meant to be in divine order. I do believe in that. I believe in divine order. And if you were meant to be led astray, the hell you want me to tell you? I guess it was meant for you to be part of the lost. And the one thing I ain't finna do is come get you. So Kamala Harris blew into Atlanta. She, doing all of her stops in their different battlegrounds. So now she's finna go back and put on her white scent to go talk to some people probably in, rural America, and come back here down and get her y'alls on. But this was what I found really hilarious. So after going ahead and, having the American Pander show at New Birth, she got a little pep in her step when she was leaving, because she's like, woo wee, boy, I had me a church full of some stupid niggas. Boy, they was eating all that BS up too. Boy, I was over there just fumbling all over the word and whatnot. Boy, they ate it up and even prayed for me too. Woo wee, let me get on out. These people don't care about y'all, family. Y'all got to know. I hope folks know, man. These folks do not care about people, man. So I hope that y'all, are understanding what you're seeing. And you're seeing, for me, I'm witnessing the end of the black church as we have always known it. Kamala can go play church and watch all them folks in there. Oh, Lord. Boy, y'all look nutty. Nutty. And then, let's see, even more so, we gonna end with this right here. This is just a beast.
I want you right where it is that you are. I want you to stretch your right hands towards our vice president. Who knows, but you were born for such a time as this. I wish at the end of my life, the only thing they can find wrong with me is how I laugh.
That's not the only thing we can find wrong with it, though, brother. See, and then start misrepresenting people's position. I can't stand Negroes like that. And you lying on black men. And while besmirching black men, lying on them for this cosplaying liar. This tan Caucasian woman ain't like my mama, ain't like my aunties, ain't like my grandma, ain't like my wife. Or none of her folks. This woman is a foreigner, man. She don't come from our culture. All of this, there's nothing about us she know. We can see that from these tethers. I mean, granted, yeah, she's been in America a little longer, but starting after sophomore year in college as being in DC, and obviously she was groomed up in this. Get out of here.
Lord, in the name of Jesus, I pray a hedge fence of protection around your daughter.
See, what's his name? Horford right behind her. So and then the other little Congressional Black Caucus Negro back there. This dude right here, you see who my arrow is. And then ain't that the NAACP tether? These people ain't even foundational Black Americans. So I understand. Like, Horford, what are you even doing in this church, man? Like, on the real, man. When y'all grew up, how many doggone Caribbeans was in your church? They come up here and have their own church. Like, especially in New York. If you was in New York, then folks have their own church buildings in New York. Stop it.
No hurt, harm, or danger. I pray that you'll assign 100,000 angels to cover her head. Thank you, dear Lord, that you have given her this moment to defy the odds in front of the entire world.
See, I'm going to interrupt this because, number one, this nigga ain't praying to the Lord. So, I hope y'all, well, you interrupting this prayer. He ain't praying to the Lord, to the God you thinking he praying to. No, he not. So, no, don't get caught up by the false prophet. He's over here false profiting.
Now, God, not for her name, but we promise we're going to give you all of the victory.
Here's another problem with this. And as a spiritual leader and as a pastor, you are leading these people to bid this woman Godspeed. So this right here is the act of a pastor, a shepherd, leading his flock to go get branded by supporting her, which I'm probably sure he already promoted most of them getting branded 2 years ago. But that's another conversation for another day. A side note, I told y'all, I'm pretty sure Jasmine Crockett got a BBL. Now, that might just be her jacket sticking out like that. But I told y'all, I'm like, I think she done seen Doc Hollywood, allegedly.
Not by might, not by power, but only by your, and those of you who believe that Kamala Harris was born for this moment, would you give God glory even in this?
Old teary-eyed Negroes and my grandma and mama would be so proud. We got a tan immigrant. Well, technically she's an anchor baby, but yeah. Who's that white lady? Is that Macon Kelly? Somebody over there in those conservative spheres is listening to old Beatzilla. I would like to know who, because I'm hearing my lingo turn up in some of these places, and that's something I say. Wow, okay. Go ahead and give your boy a shout out though if you're gonna do that. But I'm just saying, and don't get me wrong, quite a lot of folks have stolen content. So let's keep it a buck, but not really people can go this deep into this because they don't have this experience. And with this, there's a lot of these church types. They can wash their history, and or wash their present and hide. But here's another black man who, just judging by the appearance, is a consistent churchgoer, probably a deacon. He has a name tag, so he's a officer of the church. And so he's 100% down with what they do. And maybe he's an officer of the church because he's also part of a fraternity. Who knows? But I see these type of things all the time. And if they're not part of a fraternity, there's other things in church that you can go become parts of that are still tied into these organizations. Crazy, ain't it?
I want you right where it is that you are. I want you to stretch your right hands towards our vice president. Who knows? But you were born for such a time as this. I wish at the end of my life, the only thing.
Okay. That, ladies and gentlemen, is Jamal Bryant. And so I have to ask again. Has the church sold out? And what God do they serve? Got to do you like Kearney. What God do they serve? You know that 3:30 in the morning on BET. Oh man, you'll never guess. You know, Kearney had a little stint. Kearney had a little time in Portland, Oregon for a while. Actually, I think he was over in Vancouver, but he was up here for a minute. I used to play with his partner for his partner's church, Pastor Grogan. So before Kearney moved back to Texas, he was up here for a minute. In the second jurisdiction of Church of God in Christ. Tell me, boy, see this, you can't lie on the black church. Our connection is a beast. So when you get out here and start, I was over here, you can't do that, ma'am. We connected. For those of us in gospel music, we are all interconnected. So if you have had your stint, GMWA, and played for these people and played for that, trust me, everybody is connected. My drummer here, our percussionist, he's from Brooklyn. Our bass player, who's from Compton, actually lives in Brooklyn right now. Don't lie on this gospel music thing over here, man. You will be found out as a fraud. Like that lie that Kamala Harris talked about singing in the choir in Oakland. Got Brother Cecil Williams down there in Bethel AME, San Francisco right now. He's from Oakland. He grew up in Oakland. Right around the same age as you, Cammie. Now, you were singing where? Oh, okay. Gotcha. Don't play with this thing over here, man. Don't come lying on us. Don't do it. Don't do it. You talk about you want to be exposed before the evening news? Don't come lying on this black community over here like that. We can make a phone call and find out if you was really where you was at or not. Lying on us like this. Man, come on now. Is Kamala an Esther? Hell no. For such a time as this, no. And so I say no to Kamala Harris. And I say no to all of these Bible-burning fake preachers like Jamal Bryant and other people of his ilk. And at the end of the day, Jamal Bryant, Kamala Harris, especially you, Roland Martin, y'all,
Shade tree nigga.
Babylon is falling. Babylon is falling. Let it fall and let us rise. Can you dig it? The family, I know there's going to be some folks here that, man, he don't know what he's talking about, man. And why he over here talking about this, man? He over here besmirching the good Lord. I'm not besmirching. I love the Lord. God is great all the time. Just like Jesus had to go regulate in the temple because the money changers and the hustlers was in there. He had to clear them out because the filth had taken hold and taken root. And then people were starting to think that the filth was actually the righteous way of doing things in that building. And he promptly came through to show them how wrong they were. The Lord and Savior picked up them whips and started whipping ass and got them suckers up out of his church. That is who you say you serve. But you let these folks come in here and push baby death on you. And y'all saying, I'm going to pray for that. And I'm going to bid it Godspeed, and may every woman be able to go to the hit man and put their child out this world. Because the King of Souls didn't know what he was doing. And you might disagree with me. Well, I speak for myself. Beatzilla PDX official. Beatzilla PDX official show. Those of you in the chat, the grassroots and the voices of new black media, I know I'm definitely safe to say I speak for all parties involved. For each one of you brain dead church Negroes that are still stuck in that bee behind these Democrats, we proudly dedicate this song to you.
Get up off of that cocaine and get up off of that crack. Get yourself together and get your mind back.
Hashtag hands off our reparations.
You have no rights here. We're not under the empire.
Yes, indeed, family. And that is the end of our broadcast this evening. Hopefully all have had a enlightened time. And man, Kamala playing church was a beast. And I myself am very disappointed at what the black church has become. I'm rather disgusted, shall I say. And yeah, I could never give my support to anybody pushing a notion or an ideal that is completely against the God that they serve. I won't do it. Now, I would advise anybody not to do that. If that's what you feel and your heart is compelled to go in that direction, then by all means, do so. But for the rest of us, we'll take a hard pass. And so with that being said, family, you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at beatzillapdx. You can email me at ourrealtruth@gmail.com. And if you feel so inclined to put some money in the bucket, you can do so by way of CashApp, beatzillapdx, with $, beatzillapdx. And also, we have PayPal, which is Zilla Music. That is ZILLAMUZAK at PayPal. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, hit that thumbs up. Again, if you have not subscribed to this channel, make sure you subscribe. And if you want to join, you can most definitely join. And I'll be later on in the week shouting out the members. So salute to all of the members of the channel and all of the subscribers. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you again for tuning in. Stay black, stay vigilant, stay alive. Black first, black first, black first. Shalom, y'all. Y'all have a blessed evening.
When you know who Satan is, yes, sir, you don't have to kill him. No. The stone of truth. Yes. See, that's what you throw. Yes, right, right. Allah says, Had we wished to take a pastime from before, surely we would have done it. Nay, we cast truth at falsehood till we knocked out its brains. Every one of you that knows the truth, stand up and tell it from the mountaintop. Black people can't take it no more. So wherever you are on the job, in the factory, I don't care where you are. If you know the truth, stand up on the truth and tell Satan, who the hell are you to try and pick my friends? Farrakhan is God's man, and you are from the enemy of God. So to hell with you. Stand up on it like a man.